Welcome to CARDESIGN Academy, where we help aspiring designers master the skills and technology necessary to succeed as an automotive designer through live, online training, and personal mentoring. Today we're going to continue our exploration of a complete vehicle concept and drawing the vehicle from different perspectives, different points of view, and really exploring shape and form. And so we're going to continue with doing some kind of sports car or hypercar. And I'm going to be doing another series of sketches looking at the vehicle from different perspectives, different points of view. I'm still not quite dialed in on the final design direction yet, but I'm just exploring shapes, forms, and oftentimes when you're looking at the vehicle from different perspectives, you're going to get a lot of different ideas on how the vehicle can look and how to make it futuristic, how to make it exciting. And so this is one of the things that I like to do when I'm starting out a project in order to really think into the future, to get visionary, and also to bring the viewer into the story. A lot of times we leave a lot to the imagination because it brings the viewer into the story, and sketches really are a part of the communication of a thought, of a vision. And when you bring the viewer into that world, into your world, that gives them an opportunity to become engaged in the design process as well. And so now that we've learned all of the essential skills of sketching, we've learned the different kinds of vehicles, the silhouettes, the proportions, learning to draw vehicles in perspective. Now we're starting to get into design. We're starting to get into the future, and that's really what this is about. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And once again, I'm going to be sketching pretty loose and not thinking too much about the exact design that I want. I'm generally thinking about supercars, hypercars, a generally mid-engine proportion with exposed fenders or separated fenders. And so we're going to start with that general idea, but we're going to let my hand lead the way, not think too hard, and really start to look for those sort of happy accidents, those opportunities to bring out new shapes and forms that no one's ever seen before. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with kind of a front three-quarter view, and just kind of laying out some wheel positions, and this egg shape, which represents the main volume of the passenger area or the occupant area. So if you think about the occupant as sitting in this egg-shaped, teardrop-shaped cocoon, right? And then the wheels are positioned outside of that. That's just generally what a lot of these supercars or hypercars are doing. And again, not trying to get too perfect or too resolved at this point, but I really want to communicate this wide stance, these wheels just sitting way outside of the main body. I'm going to be moving around quite a bit. I'm not going to try and finish one sketch before going to the next. So maybe I'll try a different view. Maybe I'll try something that's a little bit more rear three-quarter view, maybe turned more to the side so we can really see the silhouette of the vehicle. You know, I'm just sort of letting my hand lead the way. You're not trying to get too dialed in just yet. As I always say, keep it light till it's right. So let's go ahead and start another one. You can see we have a couple of sketches where we're just thinking about a few things. We're thinking about the car from different angles, different points of view. Perhaps we'll try another front three-quarter view, this time from the opposite side, and maybe a little bit more to the side this time. So again, looking at my vanishing points, kind of setting up the center points of the wheels, setting up the sort of egg-shaped occupant volume. And this sketch is really going to communicate the plan shape, or the front curvature of the car, which is going to have this long tapered front end. Very light structures. These vehicles or these cars could be made out of exotic materials like carbon fiber. The fact that a supercar or a sports car is really all about the driver, and so you don't have to worry too much about interior space. You can really shrink wrap the interior volume around the occupants. There might be some aerodynamic elements on the front and rear. Maybe we'll set up another rear three-quarter view, but this time almost from the direct rear view, or let's say turned a lot more to the rear. Here you can see I'm just drawing a cube because when I get into more of the end views, it just helps me to see visually where things are at. I'm thinking about this sort of reverse angled back end, where instead of being rounded this way, it's actually tunneling in that way. And then the cabin just really tapers back into this narrow teardrop. You can see I'm not really spending a lot of time constructing these vehicles. I'm not drawing the perfect ellipses and all of that. I'm trying to keep the drawing loose and pure and really focus on the ideas more than the execution. So I'm thinking of kind of this biplane type of rear bumper with these twin exhaust nozzles. That's one thing about sports cars or hypercars, is they have these very advanced aerodynamic features to help keep the car planted on the road, but also to manage airflow around the vehicle. And then maybe let's do one more sketch down here. Let's fill out the page, setting up my my ground plane. I'm just sketching out these wheel forms, and then just going to start to put some expressive character lines. It's almost like a grasshopper ready to hop. As I'm sketching across the front end, I'm always thinking about sort of the center line, or if you were to draw a section line through each of the wheel centers, it really just helps to figure out what those sections are doing. So I've really sketched in. I've sketched in very lightly this series of exotic sports cars in these various perspectives, and now I'm going to start to go through them again. This time, kind of letting my eye read into the sketch and figuring out what kind of shapes and forms I can extract from that. And so I'm going to start to add a little bit more shading, a little bit more detail. I'm going to start to express the form a little bit more clearly. And I'm going to be thinking about light and shadow to help define those forms. And so starting at the top, just kind of work my way back down again. And the other thing that I'll do is I'm going to have a kind of a focal area near the front of the sketch where the car is nearest to the viewer, and then let some of the other details, some of the farther details, kind of fade away. I'm just adding some hard reflective elements just to make it clear that this is a reflective glass material. So I'm just going to move on to the next sketch. Don't commit too quickly to an idea. Just let the hand explore, let the mind kind of take a back seat and just watch. Just watch and see how these shapes and forms develop. Don't get too caught up in what you want, because you're often going to see things that you didn't expect, and that leads to new ideas and new innovations. So I'm actually wondering if this car even has a traditional side window. Maybe the driver is able to see out the sides through some sort of digital display. And then we're just going to have some aerodynamic elements in the rear. Maybe this adjustable wing shape. Okay, so I'm going to move on to this sketch. And you can see I'm really using the side of the pencil. I'm using the tip of the pencil. I'm constantly shifting my hand position to get different thicknesses, different depths of line. Again, I'm thinking about this idea of the cabin being only a front forward facing cabin, and then leaving the side of the cabin opaque and only visible through augmented reality or virtual reality or some kind of digital display. If you notice, I never use an eraser. If I change my mind about something, I just overpower it with the pencil. That's why I start really, really light and I let it get darker as I go. This is really the meaning of saying keep it light until it's right, because if you want to change something, you just go ahead and change it. You just build up slowly and you just keep adjusting and changing as you go. I'm thinking about this graphic element that runs from front to back like a racing stripe. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one, and we're just going to try to express this form. Let's see if we can really figure this out in pure form. You know, I'm thinking about light and shadow. Now this is really where design becomes a lot of fun. When you get past the point of learning to draw and struggling with perspective and proportion, and you can really start to express yourself and explore. That's where sketching really becomes fun, and that's where car design really becomes fun. So we have this kind of shark nose profile, downforce inspiring aerodynamic element at the front. So I sort of envision this car being so low to the ground that you don't need a traditional side window. You can see how by putting a lot more contrast on the glass area and having some harder, more defined reflections, you're really able to communicate this change in material. And lastly, I'm going to communicate this rear three-quarter view, and I really want to get this sense of light and shadow hitting those rear fenders and creating these very sculpted, voluptuous forms. And I'm going to let parts of the sketch fade into the white paper. That's called vignetting. A vignette. It's where you allow the car to sort of blend into its environment a little bit. And so this is really the best technique for exploring shape and form and letting your hand kind of lead the way, not getting too caught up into committing to one design or one idea. And so this is a great way of exploring, and I want you to go ahead and get past that fear, get past that hesitation, right? When you're looking at that white piece of paper, just get past that hesitation. Just start moving your hand. Just start drawing, and just let your mind discover what it is your hand is telling you, and then bring your viewer into the conversation. So you don't have to have the perfect sketch. You don't have to have the perfect idea right away. Sketching is really a process of exploration, a process of discovery, and the sooner you get past that blank white piece of paper and really get into it, the sooner you're going to discover something totally new and totally amazing. If you're looking to take your car design career to the next level, you need a mentor who can show you the way. Go to www.CARDESIGN.ACADEMY and book a free discovery call. We can help you map out a strategy to master the skills and technology necessary to succeed as an automotive designer through live, online training, and personal mentoring. Whether you're just starting out on the journey or you're looking to level up, subscribe to our channel and be sure to follow us on Instagram at CARDESIGN.ACADEMY.